How's it going, gang? It's a final render here, and in today's Fallout 76 news video, we're going to be taking a look at some brand new, juicy news for Fallout 76's Wastelanders expansion, which is coming very, very soon. We're going to take a look at the Inside the Vault article, and we are going to get some really cool information about a new trailer that's coming out very soon. We'll get some information about how the reputation and faction system will work in Fallout 76, and of course, we may actually have an announcement of a release date for Fallout 76's Wastelanders expansion. So make sure you go ahead, hit the like button, strap yourself in the chair, and let's get ready for some cool Fallout 76 news. Let's go. So starting with the first part of the Inside the Vault article, we can see that Fallout 76 is gearing up for a very special announcement next week. Now that very special announcement is actually going to be something of a bit of a mystery. They don't really tell us what that special announcement is. However, they do actually reveal in their next paragraph on this Inside the Vault article that we are getting a trailer for Wastelanders next week also. And that part of the article reads, "We would like to give you another peek as what's to come in the Wastelanders expansion beyond a few screenshots and words on a page. We've put together a new official trailer that we're excited to unveil next Tuesday, February 4th. Keep an eye on Fallout.com for full details, and we can't wait to see you then." So, in other words, we're getting a brand new trailer for Fallout 76's Wastelanders, which is brilliant news in of its own right. But also, there is a really big announcement next week. I suspect this trailer will probably have an actual release date for the Fallout 76 Wastelanders expansion. Why else would they say there's a special announcement next week and that there is a trailer next week? Seems to me that the trailer is probably going to have the release date in there, or possibly even a roadmap. That's the only other thing I can think that's really exciting news for Wastelanders. But then again, releasing a roadmap at this stage might actually involve learning about the story and possibly seeing spoilers. So personally, I don't think it's going to be a roadmap. I don't think you can have a roadmap until players actually finish the new Wastelanders campaign. But I do think it's going to be something very cool, particularly a release date. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And I think you guys are going to look forward to it as well. We'll definitely have a full analysis video on that trailer and hopefully have some really cool insights into what's going to happen with Wastelanders. But then, of course, after that, we do have a very large section in this article talking about the reputation and faction systems in Wastelanders and how they are really going to work. Now, this is something which is actually bigger than a lot of people are leaning on to say. Realistically speaking, we haven't had a Fallout game with a faction reputation system for a good while. Fallout 4, for example, didn't really have one. I mean, it kind of did in terms of you kind of pick a side for the main story, but you didn't really have a rank inside a particular faction, for example, or certain abilities by being that particular rank. You just unlocked things as you completed the story. So it's really nice to see a return of the faction and reputation system. It's also really good for roleplay stuff. If you're really high in the raiders, you can roleplay to be a raider, etc. But enough about that. Let's actually read the concrete confirmed details about how this is going to work. So, the Inside the Vault article reads, "Last week we introduced you to the Settlers and the Raiders, the two major factions who are on their way to Appalachia with our upcoming Wastelanders update. This time we're sharing some details about a new reputation system that will help you move from a total stranger to a close confidence with each faction and earn a few rewards along the way." So not only does having a certain rank actually give you rewards as you increase through the rank, but it kind of also leads me to believe that you could, in theory, become friends with both factions. And I'm not too certain how that would really work. It seems a bit weird that if you would help raiders, essentially criminals, that just regular nice people would also like you. But I'm not too certain if there's any truth to that. It might just be the way it's written. But that kind of says to me that you should, in theory, be able to get high affinity with both factions. Maybe it's like you can get high in one, but you can't max them both out. Maybe you can only max one of them out, if that makes sense. But moving on with the article, it says that when you first meet the Raiders and the Settlers, they will be hesitant to include you, a newcomer, in their affairs. The more you do to help this chosen faction by offering information, taking down their enemies and completing quests, the more you'll prove you're someone they can rely on, and your reputation with the faction will increase. Eventually you'll rise through 7 different reputation ranks, from hostile or cautious to neutral, friendly and ally, among others. So this is actually something which is quite important as well, because you start off just essentially as a newcomer, a nobody. But there is a chance that you can go negative into the faction. You can be vilified essentially. They just don't like you, which is something which I'm very happy is in the game, because if you do a lot of the bad things you do in Fallout, such as like stealing, robbing, killing people, etc., it wouldn't just be that they don't like you. It's that a certain faction might want nothing to do with you. So I think it's good that there is also a negative impact inside the faction system. I also wonder if maybe if you go negative into the factions, maybe will there be hostile to you on sight, for example. But if you're a newcomer, maybe they'll just kind of leave you be and just kind of let you do your thing, just not necessarily be friends with you. But if you're hostile, they will definitely shoot at you on sight, which I think is going to be a very cool thing if that is the way it is implemented. So going back to the article, it says, whenever you gain reputation with a faction, you will receive a notification that shows how much reputation you have earned. The amount of reputation you earn also depends on how you did it. Completing a story quest, for example, will net you a large amount of reputation, whilst finishing a faction daily quest or making certain choices during conversations will offer additional ways to gain some rep. This is something which I'm really excited about inside the new Wastelanders expansion. We have multiple ways to grow our faction reputation inside Fallout 76. I was kind of worried it would be tied to the story, and once you were kind of locked into one faction, you were stuck there. But no, by the look of it, you'll be able to do many tasks which will change and alter your reputation with both factions, which is something I'm very happy about. Not only does it mean that kind of choosing which story option will be a bit harder at first, because you might need to prioritize the one which gives you the most rep, but also it means that doing some of the smaller tasks like dailies will actually be worth it now. I'm not gonna lie, the dailies inside Fallout 76 aren't really worth your time. They don't give you enough reward and they take a very long time. It just kind of feels like a small busy work task, which really isn't gonna help you out as the player in any meaningful way. It just gives you something to do should you want to do it. But now we actually have a way to increase our reputation using dailies. It may mean that we have more incentive to do those dailies every single day if we're trying to grind up our reputation, which is fantastic. But we do have some more information coming up right now which lets us know how we can monitor this kind of stuff. You'll be able to view your current standing with both factions at any time by opening the social menu. An icon for each faction indicating your current reputation rank will appear at the top of your social menu near your account name. You can click on this reputation pop-up that shows your rank and progression towards the next. So we'll be able to monitor what our reputation is at any one time, and we kind of compare them and see where we are in terms of both factions, which is a really nice thing. It kind of keeps it permanently in our mind that maybe we better not do that task because it will affect our reputation, etc. You got to make sure you actually pay attention to that. But final render, what's the point of having a high reputation within a faction? What benefits do I actually get? Well, Jimmy, I'm going to go and tell you what you get by having a high reputation, because that was in the article as well. The article reads, as your reputation ranks with the Raiders and Settlers increase, people at Crater and Foundation will treat you with more warmth during your interactions, and that faction vendors will sell you a wider range of goods. By completing story content, you'll also gain access to new vendors that sell plans for a few new faction-themed items which will unlock at certain ranks, like neighborly, friendly, or ally. This is kind of how I predicted the faction system would work inside Fallout 76's Wastelanders expansion. It works by giving you the option to buy certain rewards or buy certain recipes depending on your faction rank as a qualifier. And this is a really nice way to do it. Not only is it a great way to give the player new tasks and give them something to do in order to up their rank in their favoured faction to get the most rewards, but it also kind of adds a moral compass to the player, a morality to the player. Because after all, you may actually have to sacrifice some of your reputation with one faction to get the rewards of another one. Let's for argument's sake say the Raiders have got a really cool power armor that you really want, but you have to kind of screw over the Foundation Settlers in order to get it. That's a moral choice that you, the player, are going to have to make. Is ruining all my previous kind of grinding and experience with the Foundation Settlers worth getting this cool armor? And overall, I think it's going to be a really nice way to kind of make roleplay kind of be a thing. You'll clearly look like a raider and act like a raider in order to get the most raidery stuff, but then again, for the Foundation Settlers, you may just want to roleplay purely as a good guy and only do good things, and I think that will be a great thing as well. More choice is always better. So thank you very much for watching this news video, people. It's been a good one. There is so much riding on the Fallout 76 Wastelanders expansion, as you know. Because the Fallout 76 Wastelanders expansion, in a way, is kind of like a soft reboot of all of Fallout 76. It hasn't had a great reputation, it's had a very slow start for some people, and many people have just outright said they will come back if Wastelanders is a success. And you know what? I can't wait to see some of those people return. I have full faith that it's going to be something fantastic. There's definite evidence that the people behind the game are listening to what the fans want. And I do think it's going to be great. And I can't wait to see some of those new players come back when it is out. So thank you very much for watching this video, people. I've been The Final Render. Remember to check out all the cool Patreon people in the description below who help support the channel with their financial donations. You yourself, of course, can also do the same. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, gang. Bye-bye.